Man, am I really doing this? Me, defending Naruto. Alright, here we go. Hey guys, Eddie Hates Anime here, and if you know me, then you've probably heard me make fun of Naruto at least once. The last example I can remember being my Sakura video from a while ago. If you haven't checked that out, then please do. During my first watch through Naruto, I watched the original Naruto and loved it, and got so bored during Shippuden I switched to the manga just so I could finish it faster. But it's been some time since then, and I don't know what went wrong in my life for me to open up the Shonen Jump app, look at Naruto's 700 chapters, and for some reason decide that rereading it would be fun. But to my surprise, it was. I knew I was gonna love original Naruto and everything up to the war arc. But my shock came from the fact that I actually really enjoyed the war arc and the ending of Naruto this time around. I also know that practically everyone hated how the series ended, or at least everyone I've spoken to about it. Now don't get me wrong, I don't think it's perfect, but I don't think it's awful by any means. In fact, I actually really enjoyed the ending of Naruto for what it was. So for this video, I'm just going to be going through all the different criticisms and reasons that I hear from people on why they didn't like the ending, with one exception. There are a lot of people who say things like, oh, this power was dumb, or oh, the power scaling for this made no sense. But I do not care at all. If there is one thing about anime I don't like doing, it's power scaling. Meaning I'm not going to talk about the new power-ups or anything like that for the most part. I just really don't care, to be honest. I'm just going to talk about how I think Naruto's ending fits its themes and makes sense overall from a writing and narrative perspective. Also, keep in mind that this is entirely my opinion, and you should not base your own opinion off of what I say, and vice versa, you should not feel like I'm attacking your opinion just because mine might be different. Now we can get into the video. Now to start off, one of the main criticisms I see about Naruto's ending is that Madara should have been the final villain, or the war arc stretched too long, or Kaguya as a character. Now, when it comes to Madara, I never saw him as the final villain going in anyways. I always kind of knew it would go beyond him. And I feel like Kaguya better fitted Naruto and Sasuke's thematic arcs. Now, what I mean by this is the whole 6 paths stuff. Now, whether you like the whole reincarnation thing or not, it is a thing. And if that is a part of Naruto, then it makes more sense for Kaguya to be the final villain. I don't know, I just think that it made more sense for the Sage of 6 Paths to interfere against Kaguya rather than Madara. And another thing about Kaguya, I really disliked her the first time I read Naruto, but after rereading the series, I appreciate her role more. Not only as the final villain, but also as a setup for future Boruto antagonists, the Otsutsuki and that whole thing. Yes, she could have been more of an actual character, but why would Madara be the final villain when it is confirmed that there is an even stronger and more terrifying force out there? Wouldn't it be the most interesting to see that fight to end it off? But like I said, I don't care much for power scaling, so I'm not gonna get into that. Another thing I hear people complain about is that Naruto and Sasuke are reincarnations of Asura and Indra, the 2 sons of the Sage of 6 Paths. Now I'm kind of back and forth on that, because on one hand it is kind of odd, and it almost makes the whole journey feel cheap in that Neji was right about Naruto being a slave to fate. But on the other hand, Naruto was only ever destined to fight Sasuke. None of the other things in his path up until fighting Sasuke were a part of that fate, or at least I don't think they were. The reincarnation stuff also helps shed light on the past of Shinobi and the cycle of hatred that Sasuke had fallen to, just like those before him, and on the other hand, Naruto trying to get him out of that. But while on the topic of Naruto versus Sasuke, I think Naruto versus Sasuke could have been longer, to be honest, at least in the manga. I went and watched the anime version of this fight, and it was longer. I loved it, so I guess that's not a big deal. And now a word from the sponsor of this video, Eddie Hates Anime. Do you ever want to watch some AnyTube, but you don't know what to watch? Do you ever get tired of the same old videos and just boring content? Well, have no fear, because if you subscribe to Eddie Hates Anime, then you won't have to deal with any of that. And if you don't believe me, here are some words from actual, living Eddie Hates Anime subscribers. Before I subscribed to Eddie Hates Anime, I had no friends, 0 cars, and 0 women. Now, I have all the friends, all the Lamborghinis, and all the women at my side. Hey guys, my name's Frank, and I'm here to tell you, I don't think we'll ever find another content creator like Eddie Hates Anime. We're witnessing something truly special here. So if you don't want to miss out, look back on these days and be like, damn, I wish I subscribed to Eddie Hates Anime, then subscribe to Eddie Hates Anime. Before finding Eddie Hates Anime, I thought that all AnyTubers were just virgin losers. But now, I realize that there was one man out there that breaks that stereotype. Eddie Hates Anime. He is not a virgin loser. He's definitely a Chad that's not a virgin, yeah. Anyways, subscribe to Eddie Hates Anime today. See? Isn't that amazing? You should subscribe to Eddie Hates Anime today. Don't forget, EDDIE space HATES space ANIME. And that's it. Eddie Hates Anime. Search his name up on YouTube and subscribe today. Now back to the video. One criticism I do kind of agree with is that it felt like there were almost no consequences to the war death-wise. Besides Neji, who was barely in the latter half of the series, no main characters died. In a war where 80,000 people died, apparently, none of the other Konoha 11 or even the 5 Kage died, because they got plot armor. Like, let's be real, Sakura shouldn't have lived. Obviously, I'm glad she lived through it, but she should have died. I also low-key think the 5 Kage should have died, but you didn't hear that from me. Even Might Guy arguably should have died. At least Obito died in the end. Which, while on the topic of Obito, I actually didn't mind the supposed Talk no Jutsu Naruto used on him. It makes sense as Obito sees Naruto in himself, and throughout the entire arc, he was testing Naruto's resolve and ninja way to see if his dream could become a reality. This is why I think Obito also lost to Kakashi. I don't think he wanted Kakashi to win. Oh, and while on the topic of Kakashi, I actually really like the part where Obito gave him his eyes from the afterlife and he got the Susanoo. And when people say it's dumb that Kakashi knew how to use the Susanoo, I think that's a weird argument to make because Kakashi, as Naruto says in the panel after it happens, is literally known as the copy ninja. He is used to using other people's moves and has adapted to be able to do it in an amount of time that's unheard of. Now, is him being able to use Susanoo stretching it? Maybe a little. But I like to imagine he was using it with Obito's help. I mean, they were his eyes and his spirit after all. And only with two Sharingan together can the Sharingan's true power be unleashed. And I know that when that is said, it's more about Uchiha that have both of their eyes, but I like to think it's especially true for when both Obito and Kakashi work together with Obito's eyes, and that's what I got from this moment. And changing the subject a bit, I feel the need to bring up Naruto and Hinata's relationship up, as people felt it wasn't led up to or came up out of nowhere. Now I would say it was led up to on Hinata's side. If you want Naruto's side, then watch the last. And speaking of the last, I think that's going to be the last criticism of Naruto's ending that I cover in this video. Like I said, I don't think it's perfect by any means. It could have been a lot better, but it also could have been a lot worse. At least at the end of the day, the ending makes sense and works. It also sets up Boruto nicely. And at least Naruto ended. Can't say that for a lot of other series. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please press the like button and be sure to subscribe to the channel. I also know that I didn't cover everything that I could have, but to be honest, I've never really been a part of the Naruto fan base, and in turn haven't taken part in very much Naruto discourse, so these were the best topics I could think of off the top of my head. If there was anything you guys disagreed with, then be sure to tell me in the comments. Also let me know if you like the ending of Naruto or not. If this video does well, then who knows, I might make another Naruto video in the future. We'll see. Have a great day guys, and adios.